In the headlines, President Akufo-Addo nominates Justice Ofa Akufu as new Chief Justice.
Fishermen cautioned against unethical fishing practices which destroy marine life. Good evening, welcome to GBC24 and GTV. It's News Hour with Thelma Taki and
Emmanuel Amagashi.
Clement Sam is the sign language interpreter for this package. Now, first story, the President, Nana Akufo-Addo, has announced Justice Sophia Akufu as his nominee for the position of new Chief Justice as Mrs. Theodora Wood retires on June 8th this year. Justice Sophia Akufu has about 2 decades of experience at the Supreme Court.
President Akufo-Addo asked her to be fair and help regain the confidence of Ghanaians in the judiciary. He also commended the outgoing Chief Justice, Mrs. Justice Theodora Wood, for her exemplary leadership.
Justice Sophia Akufu, when approved by Parliament, will be the 13th person and the second woman to have attained the highest judicial office. She has been working as Justice of the Supreme Court since 1995 and has a master's degree in law from the Harvard University in the United States. She has been a member of the governing committee of the Commonwealth Judicial Education Institute and chairperson of the Alternative Dispute Resolution Task Force. In January 2006, Justice Sophia Akufu was one of the first judges elected at the African Court on Human and People's Rights and was re-elected until 2014 when she served as the Vice President. She is the immediate past President of the Court. Madame Akufu is on the Disciplinary Committee of the General Legal Council and has held executive positions of many organizations. She is an author at the judiciary, and her recent publications include The Application of Information and Communication Technology in the Judicial Process, the Ghanaian Experience, presented to the African Judicial Network, Ghana, in 2002. The President, Nana Akufo-Addo, commended the outgoing Chief Justice, Justice Mrs. Georgina Theodora Wood, for her immense contribution to the nation's judicial system during her tenure.
Her career has been extraordinary, and I pay warm tribute to her distinguished service to our nation and wish her a well-earned retirement, even though her public service will not be over, as her place on the Council of State awaits her.
The President said he would be a genuine and trusted partner of the judiciary and would not interfere in its work.
I have no doubt that Justice Sophia Akufu will be a worthy successor to Chief Justice Wood and uphold jealously the independence of the judiciary. I expect discipline, fairness, integrity, and the continuing modernization of judicial activities to be the hallmarks of her tenure as Chief Justice, if she is so endorsed by the constitutional bodies. It is important for the development of our nation that we have a judiciary that commands the respect of the nation by the quality of its justice delivery, as well as by the comportment of its justice. We are all witnesses to the stormy winds that have buffeted the judiciary in recent years, and to the efforts Chief Justice Wood has been making to restore public confidence in the institution. I expect Justice Akufu to continue and intensify that work.
Justice Sophia Akufu's appointment, when confirmed, will indicate Ghana's position as a strong believer of affirmative action, which paves way for women inclusiveness in all aspects of governance. Justice Sophia Akufu takes over from Justice Georgina Theodora Wood, the longest serving Chief Justice for almost a decade.
GBC24 now brings you a profile of Justice Sophia Akufu.
Sophia A.B. Akufu has been judge of the Supreme Court of Ghana since 1995. She has a master's degree in law, LLM, from the University of Harvard in the USA. Madame Sophia Akufu trained as a lawyer under Nana Akufo-Addo She has been a member of the governing committee of the Commonwealth Judicial Education Institute and the chairperson of the Alternative Dispute Resolution Task Force. In January 2016, she was elected one of the first judges of the African Court on Human and People's Rights. She is the immediate past president of the African Court on Human and People's Rights. She is on the disciplinary committee of the General Legal Council and has held membership of several organizations. Her publications include the application of information and communication technology in the judicial process, the Ghanaian experience. Justice Sophia Ekufu is the second most senior judge on the highest court of the land after Mr. Justice William Atuguba, who is billed to retire next year. Justice Ekufu has more than 2 years to her retiring age and has a high international experience. The office of the Chief Justice will become vacant with effect from June 8, 2017, when Mrs. Justice Georgina Wood leaves office after 40 years of service to the nation.
A new compost plant that recycles waste into safe, nutrient-rich fertilizer for food production has been commissioned at Borteman in the Tema metropolis. The joint venture between the Tema Metropolitan Assembly and Jacora Ventures Limited is the country's first public-private enterprise dedicated to producing an affordable organic fertilizer named Fortifa. Suyopo Kwakuchire reports.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Ghost. Amen.
The JVL Fortifa compost plant processes human and other organic waste into safe, nutrient-rich fertilizer for crop production. It is a public-private partnership model between Jacora Ventures Limited, a waste management company, and the Tema Metropolitan Assembly. The Council for Scientific and Industrial Research is providing technical support. Other partners are the International Water Management Institute, UMI, and the Training Research and Networking for Development Trend. The Managing Director of Jacora Ventures, Mr. I.B. Nate Tokoli, said the compost plant will aid the greening of Ghana's economy.
I see in this unique business model a good example of how independent entities working from completely different perspectives and sectors, but with converging laudable objectives, can synergize resources to commercialize a product of research using appropriate low technology in a developing economy such as Ghana's to the benefit of society.
The waste is taken through 10 stages before the final product, the Fortifa, is ready. They are dislodging, mixing, dewatering, treatment, sorting, composting, and curing. The rest are sieving and enrichment, pelletization, and bagging. At this stage, the finished product is bagged for purchase and delivery. The Tema Municipal Assembly provided land for the treatment plant and will ensure supplies of fecal sludge while monitoring operations at the plant.
I don't only see this project as a perfect one in making capital out of our fecal waste to generate energy, but sees it as a way of protecting our environment and water bodies from pollution.
The Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources, Mr. Joseph Kofi Ada, said the government will partner with the private sector to come up with projects that will boost the economy.
The treatment and disposal of liquid waste, which is a major menace in this country, will be addressed in a more sustainable manner. As you're all aware, there's no doubt that the government has plans to establish one factory in each district of this country. This presents a very good example of such an industry that can be replicated in all the districts in the country.
This is the first time organic fertilizer pellets will be produced and marketed in Ghana. The investment cost some $650,000. The plant will produce 500 tons of Fortifa every year. Suyopo Kwakuchire, GBC24, Borteman, Tema.
The Fishermen's Council has warned fishermen who use lighting, DDT, carbide and dynamite to catch or attract fish to desist from the unethical practice. The council says the chemicals destroy marine life.
The Ghana National Canoe Council of Fisheries has taken a swipe at fishermen who use chemicals and lighting for fishing. The authorities say the practice kills fish before they are trapped. Some are discolored with broken flesh and sunken eyes. The practice is exerting a toll on fishing, and the fear is that the practice could be widespread along the west coast of Ghana. The use of chemicals such as DDT and carbide poses a serious health hazard to consumers of fish. The chairman of the Ghana Fishermen Council, Nene Tetesian, said the fishermen usually use light to attract the fish, while the DDT, carbide and dynamite are used to increase the catch. Apart from the obvious health implications for fish consumers and processors, the practice is also deepening poverty among fishermen and fishmongers, largely women, and the quality and quantity of fish are adversely affected after they are smoked.
The fisheries industry will never recover if these illegalities are allowed to persist. The introduction of the Fishermen Watch Volunteer is a laudable step that cannot be allowed to be killed by any selfish fisherman. It is also one of the important recovery measures that can spur the country's economic growth, food security and poverty reduction.
Apart from the obvious health implications for fish consumers and processors, the practice is also deepening poverty among fishermen and fishmongers, largely women, as the quality and quantity of fish are adversely affected after they are smoked. He also apologized on behalf of other fishermen for a negative behavior they exhibited during the sector minister's visit to the central region.
We chief fishermen will do everything in our powers to make sure that we provide quality fish and not put lives into jeopardy by any self-seeking fisherman.
He called on stakeholders to join the campaign against illegal fishing.
The GJ Election Adjudication Committee has directed that disqualified candidates in the GJ elections be given an opportunity to contest. In a statement signed by the chairman of the committee, Yao Wedu Ayabuafu, and copied to the GJ executives, the committee expressed appreciation to the petitioners and all stakeholders for their cooperation and support during the process. The Election Adjudication Committee has thus advised the lifting of the indefinite postponement of the election. The GJ election slated for March 31st were indefinitely postponed following the disqualification of some candidates on grounds of not being members or whose membership was below 3 years. And still to come in this package, the Chartered Institute of Bankers has announced a training program for managers of microfinance companies, and expectant mothers advised to take antenatal care seriously to avoid complications. And Ivorian soldiers protest over pay dispute. The details and more after this break. Do stay with us.
Hello, good evening, and good to have you join us for some business updates brought to you by NIB and Ernest Chemist. I'm Dorothy Ajimai. Ghana will host this year's Innovation Prize for Africa, a platform aimed at boosting the morale of innovators to develop homegrown solutions for African challenges. The platform, which will see the grand winner walking away with $100,000, will also offer young African innovators the chance to showcase their talents, skills, and solutions to solve African problems. The Minister for Science, Technology and Innovation, Professor Frimpong Boateng, lauded the program because it falls in line with the government's objective of using science, innovation, and technology to bridge the poverty gap in the country.
According to the Innovation African Foundation, Africa is a rich continent owing to its diversity, a driven youthful population, vibrant culture, and wealth of ingenuity. Despite this potential, Africa continues to have challenges with complex socio-economic issues. This is compounded with limited funding for innovative, homegrown solutions and investments to unleash the continent's potential and bolster socio-economic development. This is what the Innovation Prize for Africa seeks to address. The platform has in the past years been mobilizing rewarding and honoring African innovators whilst building strategic partnership with innovation enablers across the continent to strengthen innovative ecosystems in Africa. Ghana is the next country to play to African innovators in July this year. It affords innovators in Africa the opportunity to showcase their innovative ideas and solutions that create value and solve African challenges in health, education, agriculture, trade, among others. The platform will also help build the capacity of innovators across Africa, propelling African ingenuity and preparing them for the global market. Madame Pauline Mujawari Kobel from the African Innovation Foundation is the director of African Innovation Foundation organizers of the program.
We have challenges, yes, in Africa, but those challenges should be viewed as opportunities. So we have to start by looking around us, saying, okay, do you see a problem? If you see a problem, create a solution, try to address it. With $185,000 US to top African innovators, where not only you get the cash, but also you get opportunity to really be able to showcase what you have created and go from getting this cash to attracting investments that you need to actually scale your businesses. So believe in yourself, look around, try to address the challenges, don't dream about solutions, because if you come up with a solution that is already addressing existing challenges, the market will follow most likely. Let's not follow the West for what has worked here. Let's look around here and create our own solutions.
The Minister for Science, Technology and Innovation, Professor Frimpong Boateng, said the program will go a long way to support the government's drive to promote science, technology and innovation in the country.
I am very optimistic about STI, Science, Technology and Innovation in Ghana, because there's a palpable confluence of favorable factors that will make sure this happens. And these factors include the realization by almost everybody that the poverty gap is a technology gap. And secondly, for the first time, we have a president who is the #1 advocate for innovation and has committed himself to ensuring that the nation provides at least 1% of GDP towards research and development. We have an innovation community that is motivated to prove to themselves and to the world that they have what it takes to contribute to the world's pool of knowledge and solutions to our challenges.
According to the organizers, Ghana was selected as host country for Innovation Prize for Africa 2017 as a result of its commitment towards consolidating a thriving national innovation ecosystem.
The Chartered Institute of Bankers has announced that from next year it will roll out a program to build the capacity of managers of the over 400 microfinance companies in the country. The training for microfinance operators, which has already received the blessing of the central bank, is expected to help sanitize the market. This came to light when the leadership of the Chartered Institute of Bankers met with the Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, at the Flagstaff House in Accra.
The Chartered Institute of Bankers is mandated to train professional bankers. The latest meeting with the Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, who is a fellow of the Institute, aims at informing him about development in the banking sector. The President of the Chartered Institute of Bankers, Reverend Mrs. Patricia Sapo, said the Institute has come out with a number of initiatives, including developing a course to enable bankers to specialize risk management and payment systems, among others.
We are also going to embark on training and certifying people, for the mortgage industry to ensure that, we have the right people who have in-depth understanding of the mortgage industry to be able to support Ghanaians and the banking sector in advancing loans to people.
The Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, lauded the leadership of the Chartered Institute of Bankers for coming out with programs to build the capacity of its members and the microfinance companies in the country. He said the banking industry has become competitive and any move to upgrade services to world-class standards is a welcome news.
I'm very, very happy that this whole idea that, you're going to get people to specialize in specific areas, whether it's risk management, whether it's a payment system, whether it's all, these are, because it's become a very highly specialized profession. You know, the generic thing doesn't cut it anymore. It doesn't. You know, so you've got to be able to know how, you know, to deal with very specific areas and go deep in them, because it's a very global business, you know. And so I'm very, very happy that effective 2018, you're introducing this. I think it will only help us. Accreditation of the microfinance institutions is also so important, you know, because I think they need a lot of support. They need a lot of, you know, build-up of capacity. And I'm just glad that the Institute is taking this, you know, on itself to really essentially provide that capacity building.
Come next year, the Institute of Chartered Bankers will construct a new 5-story building at its site near Legon in Accra to enable it to accommodate more students. Edward Nyakun, reporting for GBC24.
You're watching News Hour live on GBC24 and GTV, and this is the business segment. The cedi appreciated by 2 pesos against the pound and stabilized against the US dollar and the euro. Up next is the board. On the commodities market, light crude is trading at $47.73 per barrel and cocoa at $1,982 per ton. Gold is also going for $1,222.70 an hour. And that's it for the business segments, brought to you by Ernest Chemist and NIB. The health segment is after this break. Please do stay.
Up next is the health news segment, brought to you by Vita and FPAC. The World Health Assembly, which is the decision-making body of the World Health Organization, will be holding its 70th session this month. Civil society groups in Ghana are meeting in Accra to make inputs in the national report to the WHO. High on the agenda are family planning, diseases emerging from land degradation, and pollution of water bodies in the country. Sarah Ofori has the rest of the story.
The People's Health Movement, a global non-governmental organization and who represent those at the grassroots, poor and marginalized, have enumerated peculiar health needs for consideration by the World Health Assembly.
The current issue of galamsey in Ghana, people think that it's just the mining of the minerals that's affecting our water bodies and that's it. But I believe that the health impact on Ghanaians is something that's so topical that we need to discuss. Currently in our hospitals we are seeing a lot of kidney failures. Nobody knows if they are coming from mercury poisoning. We poison our soil so much. We poison our waters and poison the fish that we eat and the fruits and the vegetables that we eat. I think it's important that we bring this as a civil society movement to our government so that these things be addressed. The poisoning of our waters is not only the color that we are talking about. The water seeps into the earth crust and we grow vegetables normally along the lakes that we have, and we are consuming them. We do not know what we are consuming.
The People's Health Movement globally also influence policies and pursue a universal access to health. They widely agree that the relevance of attending such global fora are not often communicated well enough by representatives of the country to influence behavioral change.
When our team go to Geneva for the World Health Assembly, they bring back some feedback. But those feedback feeds into what we call policies. And if you go to the Ministry of Health, there are a lot of policies. And those policies, once they are written and discussed, it remains within the circles of the technical people. So the people on the ground don't really know what those feedback are. And that is why civil society has also instituted something they call the People's Assemblies. And those meetings, when we invite people from the ministries to come and address us, sometimes we don't get them.
The absence of key stakeholders such as representatives from the Ministry of Health and the Ghana Health Service were greatly felt, although the movement agreed that their intervention may be coming a bit late in the day. Cyril Forigi.
On World Bleeding Day, expectant mothers have been advised to take antenatal care seriously to avoid complications. Medics say it would help prevent maternal and neonatal deaths.
In the first quarter of this year, the Tema General Hospital recorded the highest number of maternal deaths. The audit report revealed that hemorrhage and hypertension were the two major causes. According to hospital management, some women who go into labor experience profuse bleeding, thus requiring blood transfusion. An expectant mother in such a situation would need not less than 6 pints of blood to survive pangs of labor. As part of measures to eradicate the causes of this preventable death, the hospital organized Hemorrhage Day to request for voluntary blood donations for the blood bank. It is aimed at having stocks for ready supply in the event of a medical emergency. This would help stem the spate of maternal mortality. Some expectant mothers expressed concern about the ordeals over scarcity of blood for transfusion when they needed it most.
When expectant mothers are due for labor, sometimes they bleed profusely, and if the blood bank is in short supply, the mother or the baby may die.
The Deputy Director of Clinical Care at the Tema Health Directorate, Mrs. Sarah Eminsa Banfo, emphasized the factors that determine the health of pregnant women or otherwise.
For those who come down with hypertension during delivery, during labor, we have also put in interventions. We are having training, we are building the competencies, capacities of our frontline workers to be able to manage these cases. For hemorrhage, you can never tell when a woman will bleed to death. It happens just a twinkle of an eye, and a woman is bleeding. We would also want to advise them that immediately they take seat, they should visit any of our facilities wherever they find themselves. District hospitals, clinics, health centers, antenatal care, focused antenatal care is being given in these areas. And with antenatal care, they are able to know what the danger signs are, and they're able to link quickly with their midwives, and they come to the facility for prompt care.
The principal nursing officer at the Tema General Hospital, Matilda Kaba, said mothers are the bedrock of families, and by donating to blood banks, the donor helps in curbing maternal and infant mortalities. The clinical care unit, together with some philanthropists, donated blood supplements such as boxes of qualified syrup and multivitamin syrup and tablets worth 2,000 Ghana cedis to support the Tema Blood Bank.
The health news was brought to you by Yamvita and FPAC. There's more on that side of the break. Stay with us.
Hello, let's talk sports. I'm Theophilus Sampa. One of Ghana's representatives at this year's annual Classic Africa Amateur Bodybuilding Championship in South Africa, Oliver Prempe, has won gold in the men's under 80 kilograms. Mr. Prempeh beat quality field of athletes to pick gold for Ghana.
International Classic Africa was held in Johannesburg, South Africa. The annual Health and Fitness Festival hosts a number of strength-based contests including professional and amateur bodybuilding. The annual classic is driven by Australian-born Arnold Schwarzenegger, who is renowned as a 7-time Mr. Olympia, Hollywood star and former governor of California. Ghana sent a delegation with one of them, Oliver Roxen Prempeh, beating 14 of the finest athletes in the men's under 80 kg. Oliver, who was initially set to compete under the 75 kg under category, was forced to make extra weight to challenge the best in the 80 kg. The final was a battle between Oliver Prempeh from Ghana, Mon van der Berg from South Africa, and Godwin Frimpong, also from Ghana. At the end, Oliver Prempeh picked the gold, with the South African finishing second. Godwin Frimpong finished third. Another Ghanaian, Michael Parnell, won gold in the men's bodybuilding under 70 kg. Ghana's only female bodybuilder at the championship, Bambi Bamfo, placed fourth. Back from South Africa, Oliver and his team, the Jinyame Physique, shared their experiences.
It hasn't been easy though. I mean, to get sponsors, it hasn't been easy. I mean, in terms of your dieting, your transport, I mean, coming all the way from Tema to Accra to come and train and then get back to work. Not doing bodybuilding alone, but also working at the port. We put in much effort that, I mean, training, nutrition, and a whole lot. I promise him that, yes, the trophy belongs to me, and I'll bring back the trophy. And by God's grace, here we come with a trophy and a gold medal.
Mr. Mike Esidu, the head coach for Oliver Prempeh, outlined plans in place for the athlete.
Our mission basically for Jinyame Sports is to create a platform for Ghanaian athletes internationally. A lot of stuff that's being done, other than the football, you know, I mean, the Ghana Black Stars, it just ends in Ghana. And I believe there's a lot of talent we got. You know, we got the genetics, we got the talent. We just need to now start some grassroots development and then create a platform for them to compete internationally, just as the Black Stars are acknowledged, you know, I mean, worldwide. That's our key vision.
The PRO for Team Oliver, Mr. Victor Baden, promised Ghanaians of more laurels in the coming days. To football now, where the last group games in the first round of this year's Ghana Premier League kicks off on Saturday and Sunday across the various league centers in the country. So here are the pairings for match day 15. At the Kumasi Babara Sports Stadium, Asante Kotoko will be at home to Tema Youth. At the Obuasi Lenklen Stadium, Ash Gold will lock horns with Wa All Stars. At Bechim United will face Diana Stars. At the Brekum Golden City Park, Brekum Chelsea will face Great Olympics. At Bogatanga, Boga All Stars will be tackling Mediama SC. At the Indum Park, Elmina Sharks will lock horns with Mysterious Ibusian Dwarfs. At the Dansuman Corridor Park, the Scientific Soccer Lads, Liberty Professionals will be facing Accra Hearts of Oak. As Ugakofe, Wafa then takes on Inter Allies. Let's talk tennis, and in the world, Sir Andy Murray's frustrating start to the clay court season continued after the world #1 crashed out of the Madrid Open. The Briton suffered a 6-3, 6-3 straight set loss to 59 seed Bruna Koric in the last 16. In the USA, the San Antonio Spurs will face the Golden State Warriors in this year's NBA Western Conference Finals after securing a dominant 114 points to 75 victory over the Houston Rockets in Game 6. That's all for sports.
And now to the arts and entertainment segment, proudly brought to you by Cowbell. Nominations have been opened for the 2017 exclusive Men of the Year Africa Awards. Dubbed Emmys, it recognizes and celebrates great achievements by men. The deadline for the submission of nominations is May 25th, 2017.
Exclusive Men of the Year Awards aims at celebrating excellence and inspiring the young generation.
Busy, waiting for my baby. No, back up me, no, I trap me.
At last year's event, Renowned Ghanaian businessman, consultant and politician Dr. Pakwesi Indum was adjudged the Ultimate Man of the Year. Other major winners were Apostle Kojo Safu Kantanka, Dr. Kwame Osei Despite, and Dr. Kwabna Dufo. Mr. Nathan Kwabna Nochia DC, known as Bulare, and Mr. Kwame Sefakai. In the female category, Dr. Beatrice Wiafi of the Breast Care International won the Ultimate Woman of the Year award. The second edition of the Emmys is slated for June 27 at the Kempinski Gold Coast Hotel, Accra. Interested individuals can log on to www.emmysafrica.com.
Young busy, waiting for my baby.
And the Ghana Women of the Year Awards has been slated for Saturday, May 13th this year. Some distinguished women who have blazed a trail while contributing to the socio-economic development of the country will be celebrated.
Several activities have been lined up for this year's event. Speakers at the event will include Electoral Commission Chairperson, Madame Charlotte Osei, Madame Esther Koba of Strategic Communications Africa, Stratcom Africa, Madame Comfort A. Sakuma, a business development strategist from Nigeria, and Madame Shirley Frimpong-Manso of Sparrow Productions. Organized by Glitz Africa, publishers of Glitz Africa magazine, the award scheme was established to celebrate outstanding women who had used their expertise, positions and influence to champion worthy causes in society. The various women at the She Summit will give women the needed tools that will aid them to be successful in their endeavors. On Saturday the 13th of May, the day will start off at 5:30 a.m. with a walk to amplify maternal health awareness at the Efwa Sutherland's Children's Park. The awards gala will come off at the Banquet Hall State House later that day. The special guest of honor for the event is the First Lady, Mrs. Rebecca Akufo-Addo. Apart from celebrating women in a special way, a variety of performances will spice up the night.
Entertainment news was sponsored by Cowbell. The weather is next.
In Ghana, most people eat maize. We use it for our banku, our kenke, our cocoa, and our Tom Brown. Some of us buy the corn dough from the market, and some use our maize flour to produce bread. But however you buy it, everyone knows
Maize is good for you!
it is rich in carbohydrates, protein, and vitamins, as well as being a very good source of fiber for digestion. And it is good to know that there is one type of maize that we all love, the king of maize, Indiana maize. With Indiana maize, you know you're getting high-quality maize, proudly produced in Ghana by Ghanaian farmers. And when you see this stamp, you know that it's Indiana.
Grown in Ghana!
Delicious high-quality Aduane food product grown in Ghana for you.
Aduane
Before we part company, let's recap our top stories for this package. The President, Nana Akufo-Addo, has nominated Justice Sophia Ekufo for the position of new Chief Justice. He asked her to be fair and help regain the confidence of Ghanaians in the judiciary. President Akufo-Addo commended the current Chief Justice, Justice Mrs. Georgina Theodora Wood, for her service to the nation as she retires on June 8th this year.
The Ghana National Canoe Council of Fisheries has taken a swipe at fishermen who use chemicals and light for fishing. The chairman of the council, Nene Tetesian, said apart from the health implications for consumers and processors, the practice is also deepening poverty among fishermen and fishmongers as the quality and quantity of fish are adversely affected. And thank you so much for watching News Hour that came to you live on GBC24 and Ghana Television. We are
Join
back
us again at 10 for the late edition.
Yes.
Thanks for watching.